What is up, guys? So for this video, I want to discuss and analyze the promo trailer for the 5th episode of Season 4 of Better Call Saul entitled Quite a Ride. Alright, let's jump right into this one. Okay, so the vast majority of this trailer focused on the plot of Jimmy McGill, as we could see by the first clip of Jimmy that was displayed in this trailer of what appeared to be Jimmy at the Bernalillo County Courthouse. This clip was then later followed by another clip of the same scene of Jimmy in an office setting that was also displayed to us in the teaser for Season 4 of Better Call Saul entitled Back to Work, where we heard the dialogue stated to Jimmy of, quote, "Are you associating with any known criminals?" So with all this context about this scene being stated, in my opinion, I think these clips of Jimmy in this next episode are displaying Jimmy reporting to his pre-prosecution service officer as per the parameters of his pre-prosecution diversion for Chuck's charges against him that were articulated to Jimmy in Season 3 of Better Call Saul in the episode entitled Sabrosito.
The terms of the deal are for you, James, to report to your pre-prosecution service officer at the Albuquerque District Attorney's Office on the second Monday of every month for the next 12 months. Community service hours will be assigned. You must maintain lawful employment. Must only associate with law-abiding citizens. Your client understands that if he violates the terms of the agreement or is arrested for any infraction, the crimes to which he has confessed here will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law in addition to any new charges.
He understands.
So, taking this into consideration, while it does appear that this scene in the next episode will show Jimmy meeting with his pre-prosecution service officer, as we all know from the plot of this season, Jimmy has already in fact broken the parameter of his PPD that he will only associate with law-abiding citizens as a result of his plot with Dr. Caldera and Ira. However, all of this notwithstanding, based on everything we know about the plot of Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad, due to the fact that if Jimmy gets caught violating his PPD, this would also mean the termination of his law license, it appears that Jimmy's illicit activities will end up going unchecked this season. Furthermore, also in regards to the plot of Jimmy in the next episode, this trailer also appeared to present a clip of Jimmy and Kim at the end of the day after this meeting where Jimmy states to Kim that there is something that he needs to do at work. However, based on all of the context that was presented in this trailer, it appears that this statement will in fact be an excuse for Jimmy to go out at night under false pretenses in order to sell burner cell phones to people who will likely use them for felonious purposes, which in my opinion is quite a big lie for Jimmy to tell Kim in this episode, which does not seem to bode well for this teetering relationship at all. Moreover, another clip relating to the plot of Jimmy that was presented in this trailer displayed a scene of Jimmy and Howard in the restroom where we can see Jimmy state to the clearly emotional Howard, "Is everything okay?" to which Howard responds, "Everything is fine." That being said, in regards to the plot of Howard this season, after not appearing in the plot of Better Call Saul in the last 2 episodes, it appears that in this episode, we could see Howard return to the emotional state he was in following Chuck's funeral, which in my opinion is somewhat surprising due to the fact that Howard seemed to be in a much better mood the last time we saw him during Chuck's estate meeting in the episode entitled Breathe. However, that being said, I wonder if the more composed Howard we saw at Chuck's estate meeting was actually just an act by Howard of putting on a brave face at work in order to not expose his true emotional state in a professional setting. So, all of that being said, due to Jimmy's absolute lack of any outward emotional expression following the death of his brother, I wonder if this scene of Jimmy and Howard in the next episode could possibly display the intriguing dichotomy of the two polar opposite reactions of the two people who were the closest to Chuck in the aftermath of his death. Additionally, also in regards to the plot of Jimmy as it relates to Howard, what is very interesting about this relationship is the fact that Jimmy is still entitled to over $1 million from the Sandpiper Crossing settlement, as we know from the plot of Season 3 of Better Call Saul in the episode entitled Fall. So, while this fact has not yet been brought up in the plot of Season 4 due to the plot of Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad, it does appear that this money will be a crucial component of Jimmy's plot moving forward in Season 4. Furthermore, that being said, I also wonder how this money that Jimmy is entitled to will affect the aforementioned actions that Jimmy will undertake in this 5th episode regarding how Jimmy will be able to personally justify selling cell phones in an implied felonious capacity when he in no way needs to obtain this extra money via criminal purposes in order to live, in a manner that simultaneously risks jeopardizing the settlement. While it is true that it may be a while until Jimmy receives this settlement, the seemingly logical thing to do during this period of time would be to keep his head down at work, wait until his legal suspension is over, and then eventually collect this money. However, all that being said, there is clearly something deep within Jimmy that will make him want to act out in spite of all of this, where he is willing to jeopardize his settlement as well as his relationship with Kim by committing these actions. So, taking all of this into consideration, while this is of course a very complex question with many different possible interpretations, I think we will in fact get a much better idea of what is really motivating Jimmy to act out in this manner in the coming episode of Better Call Saul. Further relating to the plot of Jimmy, this trailer also showed a brief scene of Kim as well, where we can see her resuming her work as a lawyer following her soul searching in the previous episode. However, based on all of the dialogue that was displayed in this trailer, where we can hear what appears to be Paige of Mesa Verde state to Kim on the phone that we've got a huge problem, to which Kim later responds it will never happen again, I wonder if all of this contemplation and introspection by Kim will end up affecting her job performance in the coming episode. And that being said, going back to the plot of Jimmy in this episode, based on everything that Kim is going through right now at work and with Jimmy, I think the last thing in the world that Kim needs right now is for Jimmy to be sneaking out at night behind her back and selling burner phones to criminals. Finally, the last main plot that was presented in this trailer displayed a clip of what appeared to be Mike and Gus at the industrial laundry that first appeared in the plot of Better Call Saul in Season 3 in the episode entitled Off Brand. That being said, it appears that even after Mike's outburst towards Gus in the previous episode, Gus will nonetheless still use Mike for this job of surveying this industrial laundry in the coming episode, which based on everything we know about the plot of Breaking Bad, will be bought by Gus Fring for the purposes of being used as the front for the super lab we first saw in the plot of Season 3 of Breaking Bad in the episode entitled Moss. That being said, while I think at this point in time in the plot of Better Call Saul, Gus has the vision to use this industrial laundry as a front for this purpose, also based on the plot of Breaking Bad, it appears that this meth lab is far off from being operational due to the fact that we know from the flashback scene that occurred in Season 4 of Breaking Bad in the episode entitled Box Cutter that this meth lab was still not yet operational during the point in the timeline where Walter White was cooking his blue meth P2P style.
Is that our competition?
I'm sorry?
It really is quite good. The purity, of course, I'm speaking of. Speaking strictly in chemical terms. And I can't, as of yet, account for the blue color.
Which will not occur for many indeterminate years in the future from the current point in the timeline of Better Call Saul. So with all of these plots from this trailer being taken into consideration, now as we are about to head into the halfway point of this season, I am in fact very intrigued to see how much progress will be made in the development of all of these respective plots in the coming episode. That being said, I raise this issue due to the fact that while this has without a doubt been my favorite season of Better Call Saul to date, the pace of the season has been rather deliberately unhurried and truly devoted to plot and character development as opposed to sweeping advances in the timeline. And with this in mind, I think the plot of the season really exemplifies the fact that the creators of Better Call Saul will seemingly be devoting the plot of Season 4 to displaying and developing the complex and intricate backstories of all of the show's characters, as opposed to rushing the plot of Better Call Saul to make rapid advancements towards the timeline of Breaking Bad. And with that being said, I cannot wait to see more of these incredibly compelling backstories and plots displayed to us in just a few days from now. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video and also want to see additional analysis of the current 4th season of Better Call Saul, then make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any new videos about the plot of Season 4. As always, my name is Anton Jackson. Thanks again for watching.